Hello, this is my brutally honest review of the Eminem album, The Death of Slim Shady. It was released yesterday as of recording. I gave it a listen. I'm going to clarify, I maybe wasn't in the best headspace, but I do have a bunch of notes that I want to go down, and this was my first listen, brutally honest review. Alright, it doesn't matter if I was in that headspace to listen to music or not. Alright. That's how we're going to roll here. So, here we go. We start off with Renaissance. So, Renaissance had a very good beat. It had a weird microphone sound. I'm not sure if he just phoned that in. But yeah, the microphone wasn't that great. But he had very good rhyme schemes and a great beat. So, whatever. Habits. It sounds like he didn't try, but in a good way. And we're going to see this later on in the opposite effect. So, Habits, he does sound like he didn't try, but in a good way. White Gold's feature did sound good. It did sound good. There was a cheesy rhyme scheme in the chorus. Something like prescription and addiction. It's like, ooh, that's, cut it out there, buddy. It's like Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider. You're not him. Don't be putting these rhymes out, alright? You're not dropping bombs in Vietnam. Stop it, alright? Stop. Alright? These cheesy rhymes and lines, times, lines. Stop, alright? It's awful. Don't do that. There was a part where it sounded like there was a Eminem voice AI, and this was the first instance that I noticed. And we're going to see this later on, and it's honestly the best part of the album for me. And it went back into that the new Eminem sound with his old kind of older man voice. I didn't like that. I don't like his new voice. All right, and this album really shows that his old voice was just better. All right, I liked the part that sounded like old Eminem. When it sounded like the old Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, Eminem Show, Encore, those four albums, I liked the part when his voice sounded like that. And we'll talk about this later. Trouble, it was quick, but it sounded good. Not much to note here. Brand New Dance. Now, this one was incredible. It sounded exactly like old Eminem. It had a strong Encore vibe. Had some Marshall Mathers LP kind of vibes here. Relapse was a little bit there. Just a little bit. Like a sprinkle of it. I do think he kind of secretly likes Relapse. But, yeah, great vibes on this one. Great beat. It was farty, but in a fun, good way, like a GBA cartridge, like if you played Pokemon Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, Fire Red, Leaf Green. It had that like farty kind of sound, but it was a good farty sound. It would translate well there. First half was incredible, absolutely incredible, and then he pulled out this Recovery sound. I'm not a fan of Recovery. Recovery isn't my favorite album of his. It's not the worst album of his, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the Recovery sound. He was talking about Christopher Reeves, and call back to Encore with the robot, like, hey, yo, I'm taking a shit right now, like, from Encore, and he's, like, pooping on the toilet. It was that same robotic sound at the end. I'm not sure what that's called. Evil. Starts with killing a dog, which is as Slim Shady as you can get. And then it has, like, I think it's the chorus. It has this Marshall Mathers LP2 kind of sound. Same kind of vibes going on there. It's a great sound, though. I do like it. The beat is on point. There's more old voice AI. And then he has a line about necrophilia and dead ass. And that one really stood out to me as a bar. Again, I'm really liking this old voice AI. It does get obvious at some points. But I do like it. All You Got skit, more voice AI. It's a conversation with Eminem and Slim Shady. I'm not sure what was going on there, but I like his Slim Shady voice. Lucifer, I'm not a fan of the name, but it works for his character. It fits. It really fits. Because his character is evil. He had half of a verse with the old Eminem voice, whatever that was. I liked that. That was probably the best part of the song. And Yeah, there's like an elevator in his mansion line, and I liked that. It was a good callback. Again, I think he does secretly like Relapse. Sly Piper makes it sound like Recovery or MMLP2 in the chorus. And again, I'm not a fan of Recovery. MMLP2, the choruses are kind of lame. The voice AI was obvious in the second half verse, but it's still a highlight. It's a shining, bright part of this album. Antichrist. Again, I hate the name, but it fits for the character. The beginning part sounds like an old song. I love it, absolutely love it, and then it goes back to his normal voice. And why? If Eminem were just to rap with that old voice AI stuff, and he'd stay that way, he'd be the best guy out of all these new people, right? And it would be a conversation. But we'll get to that. The beat was kind of Donkey Kong-y, if that makes sense. And Slim Shady was hating on Marshall. I'm not sure. There's a Family Guy line. Diddy and Dildo was something that stood out to me. Slim was being out of pocket. It was a weird high-pitched voice. And there was a Bizarre secret feature. Bro was out of pocket like usual, but it was hilarious. I love Bizarre. He's not the best rapper in the world, but his lines, his rapping is very funny. So we'll give him a pass. Fuel starts off not Eminem at all. But it's still really good. It just feels like you hit shuffle on a playlist. J.I.D. was really good. It just didn't feel like an Eminem song. But Eminem does come in and dominates the song over J.I.D. as usual. He still kind of was on par, almost. But he wasn't. Alright, let's be honest. Eminem, way better. Newish sound still, kind of Recovery-esque. Callbacks to older songs. Those high-pitched sound of the beat, that was really good. And the breakdown had aura. That being said, didn't feel like an Eminem song. It felt like a J.I.D. song featuring Eminem. Road Rage, this one starts off awful. It ruined the whole vibe of the album going into it thus far. And that song sucks. Good message, alright? I kind of agree with it. Alright? But, I'm talking about fat people and whatnot, but it's difficult to care about what you're saying when you sound ass doing so. He was talking about trans people, pronouns of a cis man, that line stuck out, but still, ass song. It's difficult to keep up when you are doing garbage. Houdini, what's there to say about this song? It's one of the best songs, period. Alright, his best song, period. Great callback to Without Me in the beginning. It stands out on its own. It combines his old style with his new voice. If this guy doesn't want to use his old voice AI, this is the benchmark. This is the new benchmark of where you have to be. It's a great mixture, and listening to this makes you think he still got it. But then, as we'll see a little bit later on, he does not. I don't know. He was cooking with the song, and then later on, it just awful. I don't know what his problem is. Breaking news skit. It's a news broadcast. A skit about him being canceled again. I don't know. This guy, Eminem, acts like he doesn't care that people don't really care about him anymore. All right, and like, oh, I'm gonna say awful things. Haha. You're going to cancel me, but I don't care that you're canceling me. But I'm going to make an album. I'm going to make an album after the album that tanked and did awful and was hated by critics. I'm going to make an album responding to those critics. But I don't care. And that's this. Oh, I don't care about being canceled. I would make an album talking about being canceled, but I don't care. No, buddy, you do care. That's why you're making the album. Guilty Conscience 2. The voice AI was obvious. And it's your third. It was loud and out of place. Sounded weird. Back and forth between Eminem and Marshall and Slim Shady. My Darling kind of vibes in it. Again, Relapse. Not quite what Guilty Conscience was on the Slim Shady LP. I get it here. But if you're going to say, oh, this is Guilty Conscience 2, you probably should have it around the same vibes. This wasn't it. The songs, I wrote this line, the song makes me sad for some reason, before he got deep into psychology. I think it was just the vibes and aura of the song. It was making me feel like, ugh. There's a Shakira's ass line, and then he shoots Shady, and then Slim is still taunting. And then I guess this is the death of Slim Shady. But then why do you have like 5 more songs on the album? Why do you have more tracks if Slim Shady's dead now? Why? And then we're gonna go into this. Easy Mill belongs on a fucking penny, cause he ain't worth shit. Alright, buddy, he's awful. Trash. I'm not fucking Hispanic. I don't like Spanish music. I don't like Spanish rap. If I wanted Spanish rap, I would have fucking gone to Spotify and I would have looked up Spanish rap, alright? I didn't want it here. This shit was ass. Awful. The chorus is alright, alright? But Easy Mill, he ruined a good beat. And then Eminem cleared the guy as usual. And it's difficult to care about the second verse when the first half of the song was ass. The beat has this going up portion, though, that I liked. Temporary. Starts with an old song vibe thing. I don't know. It starts sad with Haley. And Skylar Grey she was good, but the auto-tune and Melodyne crap was super obvious. Way too smooth for my liking. And it's not what I'm looking for Eminem, especially Slim Shady. When you're going to advertise the Slim Shady album, and you're going to advertise, Houdini, and Slim Shady's on this album with the old voice AI, guys. It's not what I was looking for. And, it's alright, but it's a skip. It's definitely a skip. I don't skip songs, but this is one I'd say genuinely you could skip. It's emotional. I'm just not looking for it. Bad one. White Gold's chorus is something I would do. If I were to rap on that beat, I would probably make something that sounds exactly like White Gold. And that's not exactly a good benchmark. 'Cause I'm bad on purpose. Eminem seems to have dropped the Slim Shady voice AI at this point. And, why? Why do you have half a fucking album without what you're fucking going on? If you want Coup de Gras, if you wanted Coup de Gras, make a separate album. I'm here for Slim Shady, not Coup de Gras. And Coup de Gras would have stood on its own and would have been alright. And it would have been so much better if you would have just split these albums in 2. If you would have had Slim Shady, great, this is one of the best albums of all time. And then Coup de Gras, okay, this is pretty good. But if you have them together, you just drag them both down. You can't properly highlight Coup de Gras when you have a bar set so damn high with Slim Shady right in the front of it. And this is where it gets to it. Alright, he doesn't even try to sound good here. He just spits rhymes for the sake of spitting them. And it gets repetitive real damn quick. And he doesn't even sound like he's trying. And this is the bad he's trying. He doesn't sound like he's trying. It sounds like he's just rapping for the sake of it. And before, in one of the songs before, it's like, okay, this is in a fun way. This is a good way. Alright, it's like, haha, alright, cool. Alright, this is the sound of the song. This is the vibe. But here, it's not the vibe. Alright, if you're going with your new voice and your new style, why do you sound like you're not trying? And Bad One was just a bad song because he did not care to make it sound good. And Toby, again, I had a review of this song before. I didn't like it before. But when you have it stack up to the second half or Coup de Gras, it gets good. This song is suddenly good. Alright, it actually sounds good compared to the rest of the crap that I just listened to. And Babytron still makes Big Sean sound good, but Babytron does sound better this time around. Maybe it's the shit half of the album that leads up into this that makes him sound good. I don't know, but suddenly it sounds good. And the beat is somehow one of the best. Alright, it's the best of the second half of this album. And it's incredible how this whole thing works. All right, Eminem somehow made Babytron sound good compared to the second half of the album. He's still corny and garbage, and he's still ass and boring and whatever else I said to him about him. You know, all those insults, how he wasn't worth a dime. He wasn't worth a nickel. All right, I still love that Stranger Things vibe sound and the beat. All right, that's my favorite part. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right, maybe he shouldn't have made this a single, because if he didn't make this a single, it would have been much better. But he made it a single, and we have to treat it as a single, and as a single, it sucked. But on the second half of this album, it is a gem. Somehow, the Eminem verse sounds even better than it did at first. I'm not sure what's going on. Guess Who's Back? Ken Kniff, but Ken Kniff has a deeper voice. It's still funny, though. It made me laugh. Somebody Save Me. Not sure why this was the last song in the album, especially when you had Ken Kniff right there. Sad Beat, another song for Haley and His Children. Jelly Roll makes it sound like it's on the MMLP2. I like that Fun song, you know what I'm talking about? I didn't like that song. I don't like Fun. I don't like that vibe. I don't like that sound, but this song is alright. It's okay. Overall, this album is a heavy A-side album. It has a great first half, meh second half. After Houdini, it really falls off a cliff. Overall, it's okay. If I were to re-listen to it, I just skip the second half, though. Let's be honest. The B-side sucks. All right. I'm going to say it. The first half was probably one of his greatest shit of all time. All right, this stands up there. But after Houdini, it just really falls off. And after Houdini, it drags it down to recovery level. Maybe on par with MMLP2. MMLP2 is kind of fun. You could just listen to it. This one, you get so hyped. You're like, oh, this is awesome. He's still got it. He's even better than he's ever been before with this first half. But then he just stops being good in the second half. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he thought this was a great idea. Let's kill the Slim Shady character off and then have half a fucking album after we kill him. We're going to set that bar so damn fucking high with the first half of this album. We're going to set it so high. But then the second half sucks. I'm going to say fuck you, and the second half of this album, I'm going to make it my style, how I want to make it. And, if you would have just done it, I guarantee you, with that voice AI, if he would have just done anything with it, it would have been so much better than what he's trying to do now. And he's not even trying to do anything now. But if he were to make an album, if he were to remake Revival or whatever that album was, with the old Eminem voice AI, I guarantee you that it will stand above the rest of all his new modern crap. And that's the problem, is that he doesn't try. And he's trying too hard to sound like he doesn't try. And that's what I think's wrong with modern Eminem. But that voice AI crap is outstanding. That stuff, if he would just make anything with it, it would sound better. So I don't know why he's trying. He crafts lyrically. It's amazing what he can do with words. But then it just falters because it sounds like garbage. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how hard you try. If you don't have the voice for it, and you don't have the drive to make it sound good, it's going to wither, it's going to falter. So overall, this album gets a B. First half was fantastic with a mixture of his new and his old. The second half does away with that, and we see again why modern Eminem just doesn't stand the test of time. You can go back to all his old stuff and listen to that, and it's the greatest stuff ever made. But then his new stuff, it just lags behind in comparison. So my notes, my constructive criticism is stop with the new voice crap. Just chuck it in voice AI, alright? If you don't care, to make your voice sound cool or make your voice sound good. If you don't care to rap anymore, Eminem, and you just want to make shit for the sake of making it, chuck it in the voice AI. It doesn't matter how shitty the voice AI sounds. Chuck it in the voice AI, and I guarantee you, it'll be the best crap you've made since Relapse. Anyways, that's my brutally honest review.